Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian. Welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things tonight. We got a pretty serious show, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me get into this topic here. Now, as you guys know, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan have gone through a pretty messy fallout. And I would say the majority of it has come from Scottie Pippen's side. As you guys remember, back in 2020, they released the Last Dance docuseries. All of us are glued to our TVs and computers to watch it. And it was unprecedented. It's the best performing docuseries in the history of ESPN as a network. Did very well, right? Very well. But in the midst of all of that success came drama. And one player in particular felt like he was totally disrespected. And that player, of course, was Scottie Pippen. So what happened? After they released all the episodes, Scottie Pippen went on the Dan Patrick Show. And during his visit on the Dan Patrick Show, that's when Scottie Pippen's first salvo at Michael Jordan, at Phil Jackson, just started, because at that point he just started going off on Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson, to the point where he even called him a racist. And that's what really kicked off the series of public attacks that Scottie Pippen made over those years against Michael Jordan. So we want to play that again, because that was the initial start. That was a linchpin of all of this, number one. And number two, the reason we want to play this because the comments that we're going to get into today have a lot to do with what was said on the Dan Patrick Show. But before we even get into what Scottie Pippen initially said on the Dan Patrick Show, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, GameTime, who's the official sponsor of today's show. GameTime Tickets is an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets faster and easier than ever. For example, I am super excited about the games between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves this week. With GameTime Tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on GameTime. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to the NBA. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, baseball, or concerts, or comedy or theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do right now is we want to play exactly what Scottie Pippen initially said, and then we're going to get into this article of what Toni Kukoč had to say about the Michael Jordan Scottie Pippen fallout. Take a listen to that there.
Help me understand the GQ article where you talked about the 1994 playoff game when you refused to go back in the game and Phil set up the play for Toni Kukoč.
Well, I mean, it's not much to be said. If you go back and look at when Scottie Pippen entered the Bulls and when Toni Kukoč entered the Bulls, and who deserved the last shot of the game.
No, I understand that, Scottie. I'm just going by what you said. You said you need to read between the fine lines, and then you go on to say it was a racial move to give him, Toni Kukoč, a rise. So,
well, I mean, if you knew that Scottie Pippen had been with the Bulls from 87, battled through the Pistons and every other team that we had to get to those 3 championships, wouldn't you give Scottie Pippen one opportunity to get a last-second shot without Michael Jordan? Like 1 year without Michael Jordan. Can I get one shot? Like, I'm doing all the dirty work.
But all of that I understand from the basketball standpoint. But when you say a racial move,
well, why would Tony, who was a rookie, get the last-second shot and you put me out of bounds? That's what I mean, racial. Like, that was Scottie Pippen's team.
But
Scottie
Phil
Pippen
then
was on pace to be an MVP that year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Why would you put him in a position not to be successful? Why wouldn't you put him in a position to succeed? Michael Jordan is not there. So who's next in line for you?
But have you talked to Phil about this? Because by saying a racial move, then you're calling Phil a racist.
I don't got a problem with that.
Do you think Phil was or is?
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you remember Phil Jackson left the Lakers, wrote a book on Kobe Bryant, and then came back and coached him? I mean, who would do that? You name someone in professional sports that would do that, you know? I think he tried to expose Kobe in a way that he shouldn't have. You're the head coach, and you're the guy that sits in the locker room and tells the players, this is a circle, and everything stays within the circle, because that's what team is about. But you as the head coach, open it up, and now you go out and you try to belittle, at that time, probably one of the greatest players in the game.
Well, it feels like he's disloyal. I don't know if that makes him a racist.
Well, that's your way of putting it out, and I have my way. I was in the locker room with him. I was in practices with him. You're looking for him afar.
Yeah, and look, that's why I wanted to have you on. But I go back, and Phil designed a play for Steve Kerr when Mike was there. And Mike didn't have a problem with that, did he?
I don't want to. You're not setting me up to answer the right question. What do you mean Phil set up a play for Steve Kerr? He didn't set that play for Steve Kerr. He set that play for Michael Jordan.
I thought in the huddle, Mike says, "I'm going to throw you the ball. You'll be open at the foul line." And Phil had nothing to do with that.
And you don't want to get this show started because it'll take us a long time. Do you know all those cameras that's sitting in that huddle who they was working for?
The NBA.
So you know who Michael was speaking to when he said that, right? that was planned. That was speaking to the camera. That wasn't speaking out of what we're going to have to do, what the play is going to be. That was speaking to the camera. Had John Stockton not came down, trust me. But that was building his own documentary because he knew he was controlling the cameras.
So let me get into this article here. I actually saw it on fadeawayworld.net. And it starts off with the headline, Toni Kukoč on Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen's relationship. It continues on, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen form one of the greatest duos in NBA history, but all is certainly not well between them now. Pippen has taken quite a few public shots at Jordan in recent years, and their former teammate Toni Kukoč spoke out about their relationship during an interview with Sports Club. 3 years ago, he worked with the Bulls. He came at a few games, Kukoč said. I don't want to go deep into what happened. Media working that way. I didn't see him for a long time. I'm sorry because of the problems in the relationship between him and Michael. With Michael, I'm talking about, he still loves Pippen, respects him, and always mentions him as someone without whom he would never have any huge success like he did it. It's sad. It's tough for me to see him, Pippen, in this condition, Kukoč continued. He changes his opinion from time to time on Michael, LeBron, and other people. He called Phil Jackson a racist because he gave me a shot, a clutch shot. It's not something. I don't know. This is not the Scottie from our team when he played. He didn't have any problems to pass the ball. I always say Michael Jordan is the best, and Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but if you play good and you know how to play basketball, then Scottie is the best teammate that you can ever have, Kukoč concluded. Have you noticed something? There have been two reactions to Scottie Pippen, or maybe one. People are all surprised. In some cases, people are shocked. Charles Barkley, former teammates, everybody's surprised at how this thing got to where it got to. And it got really messy, especially if we get into the stuff about his his ex-wife and Michael Jordan's son, which was just some Jerry Springer type stuff, right? It got very, very messy. And a lot of us as sports fans were just left being totally confused. Why were we confused? Because when you saw these guys, when we watched them for all these years, even after their retirement, they always look so happy together. They always look so chummy, so friendly. So to see this come out really stunned a lot of us. Let me give you guys my position on this. My position is the following. I am 100% on Jordan's side for a few reasons. Number one, if you go back and look at the docuseries, Michael Jordan wasn't just showing the lowlights of his teammates. He was also including his shortcomings, not only as an NBA player, but also as a person, as a human being. So you have that aspect to it. So it wasn't like as if he was just highlighting the negatives of his former teammates and then just omitting himself from all of it. No, he included himself in all of it. Number one. Number two, if you listen to some of the things that Scottie Pippen has said after the docuseries came out, he's talking about things about when Michael Jordan, him and Jordan were teammates, which means that he has harbored some negative feelings about Jordan for decades, quite literally for decades. So if you felt this way about MJ, why did you even decide to participate in the docuseries at all? If you think someone is a jerk, why would you then jump at the first opportunity to make money with them, or the idea of making money with them, if you think they're a jerk? And usually what happens is people that stick around people for years that they quote unquote feel are bad or doing wrong, and they don't say anything, is because they're gaining something in that moment. And the minute they can stop gaining something, or the minute that person says no, or they don't want to buy you something, all of a sudden, this is the worst person in the world. This is the worst human being that ever existed. That's what it sounds like in this situation here. That's what it sounds like. Because, he surely was up there participating in that. The fact of the matter is the following. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players of all time, top 50 guy of all time. But the majority of the reason that we're still discussing Scottie Pippen is because what he's been saying about Michael Jordan. Those are the facts. Those are the facts. We recently heard about the No Bull tour. I was like, what? Going around and telling, like, what is going on? So to me, look, Toni Kukoč believes that Jordan still harbors positive feelings towards Scottie. I don't know that. Based on everything that I've heard and read, that is not true. But if that's what he feels, that's what he feels. And we just wanted to share the information with you guys to get a sense of what you guys think about it. So whatever you guys think about this story and today's show, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.